closely at this cross-section, we see a dense, stratified structure where melted cheese, rendered beef, and crispy onion rings lock together in perfect cohesion. Our objective today is to build this. We are taking standard raw ground beef and converting it into a highly complex, cheesy, crunchy melt in a matter of minutes. This diagram outlines the specific 7-item inventory required for the build: 1 pound of ground beef, a packet of ranch seasoning, 1 cup of shredded cheddar, a can of onion rings, 4 hamburger buns, 2 tablespoons of butter, and a jar of sliced jalapeños. The crucial requirement here is that the jalapeños must be thoroughly drained of their liquid. If we fail to execute that strict moisture control and introduce excess liquid from the jar, it will migrate downward through the build, resulting in a catastrophic structural failure of the bread base. Step 1 is establishing our heat environment. Bring a skillet up to medium temperature to prepare for the primary protein. Drop in the pound of raw ground beef. Keep the meat moving in the pan for a precise 5 to 7 minute thermal window, breaking it apart until it reaches a fully browned state with absolutely zero pink tissue remaining. In this image, you can see the immediate need for liquid extraction. Drain all the rendered fat away from the pan so the beef matrix stays dense and dry, rather than boiling in its own grease. With the liquid removed, introduce the entire packet of ranch seasoning into the newly drained protein and stir to coat. Next, we enforce a strict bifurcation of our jalapeño supply. Take exactly 50. The cooked half softens and infuses the base protein with capsaicin, while the reserved raw half guarantees we retain the necessary structural crunch for the final assembly. Now, introduce your 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese into the active heat zone. Apply continuous mechanical stirring. You must keep the mixture moving to activate the melting process evenly across the skillet. This cross-section visualizes the phase transition. Thermal energy forces solid cheddar shreds to break down into a continuous liquid matrix, wrapping tightly around the beef particles. Once completely liquid, the cheese matrix cools slightly, locking the beef into a solid, glossy mass. The cheddar serves as our primary structural cement. It locks the loose beef into a single mass, preventing it from collapsing and spilling out of the sandwich during consumption. Shift your focus to the exterior casing. Take your 2 tablespoons of butter and apply it across the cut sides of your 4 hamburger buns. Place the buns butter side down in the skillet. The direct heat triggers a rapid thermal reaction, causing the butter to melt and bubble violently until it creates a golden brown crust. Butter is extremely volatile under these conditions. You must constantly monitor the pan visually to prevent the Maillard reaction from crossing the line into a burnt state. Perfectly toasting the bun creates a waterproof thermal shield. This barrier directly prevents the high-moisture beef mixture from penetrating the bread and turning your base into a soggy, compromised foundation. We are now ready to initiate the final assembly sequence. Start by placing the toasted bottom bun flat on your board. In this side profile, we deploy the beef mixture in a flat layer directly onto the bottom bun's thermal shield. Next, position canned onion rings onto the beef plane for rigid support. Scatter raw jalapeños into the gaps and cap the build with the top bun. This exact vertical architecture controls the delivery of textures upon biting, compressing a soft, warm base, hitting a rigid, crunchy center, and finishing with sharp heat. You now have 4 fully stabilized, steaming melts, ready for immediate thermal transfer to the plate. The mechanical contrasts engineered into this build are distinct. The aggressive spice is neutralized by the creamy cheddar, and the soft beef is firmly anchored by the crispy onion rings. If you are looking for a higher intensity profile, an authorized modification is to artificially increase your payload of raw jalapeños in that final layer. You can also integrate your favorite external dipping sauce to introduce a supplementary moisture dynamic that works perfectly alongside the dry crunch of the onion rings. Mastering precise moisture extraction, creating effective thermal shielding, and executing strict sequential layering elevates a handful of basic ingredients into an engineered culinary triumph.